Hey guys, welcome back, coming at you on a Monday evening. How is everybody? It's good to see you. It's good to be seen by you. And who am I to throw out all this awesomeness, all these greetings? Why, I am Bill Sylvie, aka the Dungeon Delver. How are you? I hope you had a good weekend. Greetings, Aaron O'Rear. Aaron O'Rear. Bob Jester, good to see you. Welcome. Welcome to Monday, based day. Monday is a based day around here because it is the beginning of the week when all the fun stuff happens. Tonight we're just, you know what, we're just going to chill. We're just merging onto the highway for this week, right? You know, you got one hand on the armrest, the other, our wrist is just propped on the steering wheel. We got some fog hat coming out of the tape player. All right. A little slow ride. Take it easy. But tomorrow, we get serious. Both hands on the wheel. Window up. Air conditioner on, because tomorrow we are playing classic first edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. And you're like, yeah, I know. That's pretty damn arrogant of you, don't you think? Because in addition to that, tomorrow we kick off another classic RPG product deep dive. What is it going to be? Is it going to be a new rule set you guys have never seen before? Is it going to be a classic adventure that we've all enjoyed and embraced and huddled around? We'll just have to see. You're just going to have to be patient. You should have thought of that before we left the house. Greetings, Robert Phillips. Max Graham versus yes. Versus yes. Who would fight yes? They're awesome. I'll see you in the roundabout. Do. But anyway, so that is Tuesday. Now, Wednesday, we got to see. Look, it's going to be as much of a surprise as it is to me what's happening on Wednesday, okay? I have no special information about what Kyle, the Viking hat DM, so you better watch out. All right. He's got the iron cap, the horns, the whole works. The Viking hat DM will be here on Wednesday, and we'll jump back into the cold depths of space and the gritty back streets of spaceports and try some classic Traveler. Oh, yes. And then on Thursday, we're back in a groove, and whatever we pick up tomorrow, we will continue on to Thursday, because I don't believe that we are going to finish it in a single hour and 10-minute session. I don't think so. So we'll have a lot of time Thursday, but then we're going to stop screwing around. Friday night, it is the first Friday in October. We enter the realm of horror, because starting this Friday night at 9:30 Eastern, we will be playing Call of Cthulhu. We will be playing Chaosium's Call of Cthulhu. That's right. And we're going to be doing things a little bit differently during the game, subtly different. I wish I could say, I was going to go like Sven Gulli and be all costumed up and there'd be torches on the walls and all that jazz. I'm not quite there yet. But it's going to be good. It's going to be good. You guys are going to like it. And hopefully I can make some skin crawl. Wave of Mutilation is terrified already that I'm doing my job. Luther says, I show up and he is singing, to quote Colonel Kurtz, the horror. You know, it's not going to be what I do for this Friday, but I could actually create a pretty good either old school 1920s Cthulhu or like a Delta Green game out of Apocalypse Now. You can imagine if our narrator in Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad wasn't going upriver to kill lions. What if he was going upriver to seek out legends of Cthulhian horror? And what if Colonel Kurtz letting go of sanity and reason had nothing to do with his prosecution of the war, at least not anymore? And instead of Montagnards, it was Chochos. Huh? Yeah, you could do it. You could make it happen. Attack of the... Do you mean killer clowns from outer space, Awig? Because Killer Clowns from Outer Space, I mean, that would probably fit better with It Came from the Late Show, which, by the way, was co-written by Tracy Lesh, friend of the show, Tracy Lesh. Speaking of Tracy Lesh, those of you who follow me on Facebook, it's creepy, knock it off. No, all kidding aside, those of you who follow me on Facebook, you may have seen a little something. I blooped something there on the face space, to quote a much more famous YouTuber than me. And you may have seen something. So if you saw that and you're like, ooh, is he going to tell us? No. That is as much of a hint as you're going to get until we get much closer to the release of it. Picture yourself in the movie theater back in late 1976. There's that star field and that iconic yellow Star Wars logo starts slowly pulling back, and that pensive violin music starts to play, and that stentorian announcer starts up, Star Wars, the tale of a boy and a girl and a galaxy. And you don't really get anything except for some really badly cut together pre-special effects shots, no spaceships, just people shooting and that sort of thing. That's kind of what I'm giving you now. You're like, what is it? What is it going to be? It's exciting, but you're just going to have to stick around and find out, because I have something pretty awesome planned, and it is going to rock your old school AD&D sensibilities. Because let me tell you something, folks. It's going to have certain concessions to those bastards at Wizards of the Coast. I can't change that. If I could, I would. And by certain concessions, I mean certain legal concessions in a page in the back of it. I don't mean content-wise. Content-wise, this is going to be first edition advanced Dungeons and Dragons. All right? It might say Osric on it. It might say Swords and Wizardry. But make no mistake. Make no mistake. What Tracy and I are working on is a first edition AD&D product. Thank you, Wave of Mutilation. I thought it was a pretty brilliant idea myself. I mean, honestly, Apocalypse Now, once they get on the Nung River, once they get past that fire base, it straight up becomes a horror movie. I mean, everything about it, it says it in the title. It's right on the tin. Apocalypse. You know? That B-52 tail just lying across the river. The pride of the American air fleet. So much wreckage in a jungle that few have ever seen. And what of the crew? We don't know. And the ending. That idol smiling there at the ending. No, I just got a stuffed up sinus over here. Chris knows what I'm talking about. Chris knows what I'm talking about with the Star Wars teaser. But yeah, I think what you should do. So when all of you are going to get up, I want you to go over to your bookshelf. I want you to grab your copy of Delta Green and say, I'm as mad as hell and I'm going to run a Apocalypse Now game with this. What you need to do is watch Apocalypse Now, take notes, and turn that into a Call of Cthulhu scenario. I think you'll have a fine old time. Speaking of fine old things, I want to thank and welcome the, 8, 9 people who've subscribed since Friday. Welcome, one and all. Thank you very much. And if you're not, like, if you're sitting out there in the audience, if you're just like, I'm going to watch this guy, I'm going to watch this program and see what it's all about, but I'm going to hang back. Do me a favor, click that subscribe button, click the bell icon for notifications. If you like this or any of the other videos, give it a thumbs up. If you dislike this or any of the other videos, give it a thumbs down. But I ask you this is the toll that you must pay, particularly for a dislike. Leave in the comments and tell me what you liked or didn't like. Because if you're like, I want to watch this guy, I want to enjoy his stuff, but he pauses a little too often. He looks away from the camera too much. He fidgets too much. Just let me know, and I'll do my best to make it a better show for you. Because that's how I am. That's how I roll around here. I sing too often. See, that's the kind of stuff you've got to put your foot down and you've got to stop. Although Luther probably thinks the one time that I did back, like when I was sitting over here and I was doing little filky ditties for like just a few bars, he probably thinks that was too much. The full choruses and lyrics I do now got the man reaching for his earplugs. Dungeon Minister says I don't sing often enough. We have a disagreement in the comments, ladies and gentlemen. Bob Jester thinks I don't sing right. 24/7 caffeinated streaming is where it's at, Bill. Maybe someday. Maybe someday. You know what? I think I kind of missed a golden opportunity, but honestly, my mind was not right, and I had so much other stuff going on through the house that a lot of it would have just been the camera pointed at the bookshelf. But the night of the thunderstorm, I did contemplate getting on at like crazy hours. But watching me be borderline for like 6 or 8 hours might not have been good. Although maybe the human interaction would have been better. crossing from 10 o'clock until about 7 o'clock when I finally went to bed, 10 o'clock at night, because I got up at 8 the previous morning. And then I was up until like 8:30 the following morning, and then I slept until like 2:30 in the afternoon when things were mostly gone. That was a rough ride. But maybe the like interaction would have been good. But there was at least one power hiccup, enough that I think it would have knocked me off. Paul, do we have some Fall of Humanity music, Paul? You know, Dave, we've got some great Fall of Humanity music. It's the Fall of Humanity. Hey, bloop, 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 bloop. Come on, I can't be the only guy who remembers Paul Schaefer on the David Letterman show. No, Paul Bacleta says, played a Fall of Delta Green game last year. We were going to take down the operation of a heroin warlord in Cambodia. Unofficially, he was working with a centuries-old Chinese sorcerer. Wouldn't happen to have been by the name of Lo Pan, would he have? That sounds really cool, though, Paul. That's what I'm talking about. Dungeon Delver the musical, if it ain't first edition, it ain't, and other hits. Jack is really pushing for me to do just like an insane marathon stream. After 36 hours straight consciousness, you'll be hitting your stride. 50 hours, I'll be in so deep the hallucinations you won't know if you're playing D&D or it's playing you. Oh, that could be hilarious. That could be fun. Me at 50 hours with no sleep. That could be dangerous fun. And then I'll start drinking. No, I'd nod out. I would completely nod out. I'd sit here and do this, and that'd be all she wrote. No, I could see myself for like the 5th anniversary or something doing like a 24-hour stream, but I would not. No, 50 hours, that is like emotionally and psychologically dangerous. YouTube might intervene on that. Although for a charity stream, I could do it if I was a charity. Hey, we've got 19 folks in the audience, and that's pretty awesome. Welcome, one and all. Give a shout over there in the comments. 60 hours. There would be steam tunnels involved. You know, I'd be crying like Tom Hanks on top of the WTC. And so, yeah, if you're just coming in, if you're the kind of person that says hello on live streams, say hello. Please. I implore you. But I can't afford to employ you. So, yeah, starting tomorrow night, we're going to be doing another classic D&D product deep dive. I'm feeling Dwellers of the Forbidden City. It's another unusual module that kind of gets us. Hello, Beeve. Hello, please, Viking Hat. We playing Traveler tomorrow night, Viking Hat? Is that what's happening? But yeah, Dwellers of the Forbidden City kind of gets us out once again, removes us from our European comfort zone. Yeah, what's Chaotic Party? Chaotic Party. We gotta be very cool there. Yes, night after tomorrow. Okay. So yes, on Wednesday here in the US, Thursday morning in Australia. There you have it. Specific direct answer from Viking Hat GM. We will be playing Classic Traveler Wednesday. The Wednesday live stream will be just Classic Traveler in the able, capable, and dare I say, gentle, if not loving, hands of our resident traveler guy, Kyle Schuant. And it's a load of fun. We have country line dancing, folks, in the classic Traveler game, thanks to Todd's character. So, yeah, I think we're gonna do Dwellers of the Forbidden City. Jimmy Invictus, greetings. What you having for dinner? And did you bring enough for all of us? I'm just kidding. I had barbecue chicken and French fries, and it was delicious. So let me see. I know I have a physical copy. I might have a PDF. I want a better PDF. I may just have to break down and spend some filthy lucre on a good scanned PDF, indexed PDF copy of Dwellers of the Forbidden City, because I hated having to manually drag up and down pages, because Village of Hamlet was just a collection of still images. It wasn't a proper PDF. Let me see though. Let me see. Can I turn my chair and not destroy anything? Hey, I did it. I did it. Do I have? I know it's got a very dark, like chestnut brown cover, but then so does S4. Let's see, is that? There we go. So here's the module that we're going to be deep diving tomorrow. And let me just bring this up here real quick. This is I1, Dwellers in the Forbidden City, with lovely cover art there by Errol Otis of a frog fighting a guy. And the tiniest gnome character, he is a blink and you'll miss gnome character right there. It is an interesting module, and I quite like it, actually. I quite like it. It's a chunky boy, too. And it is fairly sandboxy in that you can take many routes through it. We're going to go linearly. I found that the let's just kind of scattershot approach parts of Lost Tamacon was kind of interesting, but at the same time, I feel like we kind of lost something. I partially blame that on the module because of how the module's laid out. But I think I could have just said, look, we're just going to go through. We're going to start with encounter one. I have been concerned ever since I started doing the deep dives of modules. He really does look like the Dragon Magazine 55 gnome. You're right, Chris. But no, since we've been doing the deep dives of modules, excellent. Thank you, Viking Hat. Give me those opening credits, and I'll get them queued up too. I have feared the idea of just sitting here and reading description after description, room after room, just room 18. This room is empty, has broken pots in one corner. There are exits to the south and to the west. Room 19. Here are forks. I've shied away from doing that, but I don't think it was so bad in Hum. I don't want to break my arm patting myself on the back, guys. I really and truly don't. All right. I don't go back and watch my shows unless someone says, when you said this, what did you mean? And I'm like, what? I have to go back and look at a timestamp. I'm going to have to scroll through and find what you're talking about. Because I don't like the sound of my voice. I don't like the way I look on camera. I don't like my speech cadence and my presentation. You guys do. to a degree. You enjoy it. I mean, there's been as many as 20 of you sitting out there watching it live. And you seem to enjoy yourselves. I even occasionally get super chats. That's usually for the lulls. But I do think that I did a pretty good job, even though we were just going area to area, with kind of breathing a little bit of life, for lack of a better term, into Village of Hamlet. So if I'm right, and I think I am, I will probably approach Dwellers in the Forbidden City the same way. Unfortunately, there are no restaurants in the Forbidden City that I am aware of. It's been a while. I could be wrong. Maybe we'll get in there and find out, oh no, yeah, there's, look at the board of fare. Thank you again, Jimmy. Thank you. So we'll see when we get into it how that goes. I think I had a certain verve. I think my timing was on. My timing was on and doing good when I when I kicked off Hamlet. And so hopefully I'll have the same luck with Dwellers in the Forbidden City. And if so, then moving forward, that's what we'll do, city to city, module to module. I have good gear is what I have. I have something very cool coming too, that hopefully will fit on my boom. I have a nice shock mount to put on here that Imperial Ramblings is supposed to send me. So I'm looking forward to getting that. In that, every time I hesitate or go, it will shock me. So that's going to be good. Now, to business. I am formally announcing right now, I am making a formal announcement I am now taking orders. 10 is the max. I will print, prime, and paint 10 of these. They are $25 a piece. If I don't get 10 orders, I don't do it. I do not accept payment until these are complete and packed up and ready to go to the post office. That's just how I work. So, I have the Demon Idol face. They will be painted up. They will all be painted by hand and by me. So there may be a little bit of difference between this one and the one you get and the one somebody else gets and the one somebody else gets. If you're interested in one or more, put this up here. If you want a resin printed 28 millimeter scale Great Devil face from Tomb of Horrors, if I make the Green Devil face look like mine, you'll order 100. Do you mean that? Because I'll do it. I'll do it. I will take $2,500. Don't think for a minute that I won't. Y'all are mean. Okay, so let me do this. Hang on. Okay. A couple of people have already hit me that they want devil faces. So 3 are gone, 7 to go. If you are interested, ping me now. Or at some point between now and 10. I have 7 available. Luther has a wall. That's not creepy in the least. That's flattering. So that is what you do. You can private. I would greatly prefer if you want the devil face, the great devil face, that you email me. Do not put it in chat and say, "But I said in chat," because that will go. I should have done that before I bought the long lens. I don't. Anyway, so there you go. The offer is now out there. They are now available. I will make the. You know what? I'm going to go. And yes, we have a Discord. Can I? Is it where? Where's the thing? All right, I'm making the announcement right now on the. Oh, you'd like to join the Discord? Well, I can do that too. So if you would like to join us over on Discord, there's the link. Okay. Oh, I know Luther's been spying on me for a while. That's why he's not here all the time. He doesn't have to be. Luther just hops in. And he's like, "Oh, Bill's not near a camera. I'll have to go watch him on YouTube." Yes, Wave, we have a Discord. If I didn't mention the Discord, Todd would teleport behind me. No, Todd would not teleport behind me. He wouldn't come within 100 miles of my house. He's afraid of the invisible horse. So I have to explain this. If you just subscribe, this live stream is lore is being created. And I didn't even do anything. I kind of now begin to understand fan lore about things. Somehow, Tonka Todd, creates a mise en scene here and says that he sees a horse. And he started pinging me, the invisible horse. Yes, Dungeon Minister knows. That like the hat and the Star Wars, the Han Solo running up the Millennium Falcon ramp statuette, and kind of the open space created by the All Might Funko, and the front edge of the trailing edge of the Art and Arcana book, all somehow combine on his, I don't know, his phone, his tin can internet for the depths of Arkansas. I don't know. He said it looked like a horse. And he started wanting to know what was going on with that horse statue in the background. And I'm like, do I have a miniature up there? Is there what? And I'm looking and then when my wife came back from hospital, she was a special guest on the show, and we chit-chatted and had her on, and it was lots of fun. And you are all gentlemen and women, and I thank you for it. And she was like, yeah, you can kind of see it, which on the one hand, I appreciate her explaining what people were probably seeing, but on the other hand, it just added fuel to the fire. So now I guess I have my first official fan lore, although it's probably not much more than a slightly forced meme that there is an invisible horse stalking around behind me. But I assure you there's not. Any equine-related hallucinations are solely on your side of this exchange of ideas. This is the international hand sign for exchange. Excuse me, Jimmy Invictus, that's analysis therapist. The world's first. Dungeon Minister, do you remember SCTV? Dr. Tongue's 3D House of Pancakes with John Candy? Would you care for some pancakes? Truly great moments in television. I could be a leader on the Invisible Horse sidekick marketing train. Sure, yeah, you know what? This season, I'm going to go down to Joann's or Michael's and just buy I apparently I do things as 10. Yes, Eugene Levy. Absolutely. SCTV. Hey, there's Tonka Todd. SCTV, when it was on, at the time that it was on, was as good as the SNL that NBC was putting out. Nowadays, like if you went back and they found the tapes or films and cleaned them up, digitally restored them, and ran all the episodes, and they can't, for the same reason that we can't get full episode. Well, I say full episodes. We can't get episodes of WKRP that have all of the original music in them because those agreements have long ago expired. Like the Eagles Consortium, Don Henley and the rest of the surviving Eagles are never going to sign off again and say, "Oh yeah, sure, you want to." You want to run WKRP on Me TV and play Take It Easy? Yeah, sure, that's fine. But I said your name 3 times. The horse is real. It's mean. It bites. But yeah, if they ran SCTV somewhere like on a major but opposite current SNL, I think it'd eat SNL alive. Because yeah, it's kind of bitter and yeah, it's kind of cynical, but more than anything, it's goofy and fun. So that's just me. Hail Michael Connor, unbreaded. Well, SNL, or when SNL, one more time, when SCTV came to the US, it was on NBC. It came on Friday nights on NBC. So they weren't, there was no way to run it against SNL. I mean, they could run it before or after, but it's just enough racy that they wouldn't have run it before. That would have been like in the news, like before the news hour or news half hour. And after, I mean, who's going to stay up till 2 a.m. to watch it? Yeah, no, Damien, I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. You could do an in living color reading or Mad TV. How about Mad TV? That was fun. And just again, a quick reminder, because I did get a PM here. Let me check the old inbox. Yep, nothing yet. I've got 3. I got 3 orders for the painted devil face wall tile, 28 millimeter. I have 3 orders for that as of right now. Not going to tell you who, not really any of your business, but if you want one, there's 7 slots. Don't print, don't ship until all 7 are all the orders are in, rather. Unbreaded. Oh gosh. I can almost do it in French. Would it be non pain? I don't know. Non panos. Careful, Dungeon Minister. But anyhow, well, oh my gosh, 21. Welcome everyone who's watching. And we'll probably go to about 9:45 because I have a D&D game I'm participating in. It is the Monday night D&D game. So again, if you're wondering what all this is about, because I've gotten some new subscriptions. This is what we do. This is 5 nights a week. This is 5 nights a week of old school RPG talk. And I know we kind of came in a little cold, a little slow off the start, as it were, this week. But I promise you, it's 5 nights a week of classic role-playing game awesomeness. And if you want to see it, if you want to get the notifications, if you're like, I don't want to miss Bill talking about this. I saw him tweet it. I saw him put it on Facebook. I caught it on his Discord. Yes, we have a Discord. I want to do that thing. I want to be part of that. Please click the subscription button. Click the bell icon for notifications. Because I'm still suppressed a little bit by YouTube, right? You know, they're not going to promote. They're not going to lift me up. I got to swim up. All right, you got the 3, 4, 5, 10 million subscriber guys out there dropping like 5-minute listicles, and they're just raking in netfuls of cash, and they're on their super yachts, and I'm barely just trying to. So tell your friends about the channel. Tell them, hey, this guy talks about classic RPG stuff. He talks about he does Let's Reads. He does Let's Play a first edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. That's the kind of stuff we do around here. And it's 5 nights a week. It's like the news, guys. It's like the news. It's like, oh, I wonder what's going on in classic role-playing game. Oh, well, the Delver's Dungeon. He's on for an hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever. And so, I need you to click that subscribe button. Click the bell icon for notifications, and I thank you. How did I guess you're on your super yacht? Because you're one of those super rich people. AMSR RPG for huge hits. I don't know. Maybe I can just hire like a super attractive girl and she can wear like cat ear headphones and do ASMR, but AD&D. I don't know. I don't know how it works. I've been kind of swerving all over the road tonight, guys, and I apologize for that. But it's something I just remembered. Our buddy Rich Lopez, he is one half of the genius that is the Bards of Greyhawk. We love Bards of Greyhawk. He is. I'm guessing he's home from the hospital now. I have their album here. And if you're like, oh, I'm just new to your channel, who you're talking about and what happened. Rich had a cardiac event last week. And they've got him on all the good stuff and he's at home now. But the Bards of Greyhawk, if you came in at the beginning of the episode, like right at the start, they do that fantastic, wonderful piece of music. They wrote it for me. It's called Summer Mountains. It's the show intro. Well, it's 30 seconds of it. The whole track is like 3 minutes, and it's amazing. It's like this Zeppelin-y sort of Allman Brothers-ish mixed in, folksy, relaxed, mellow. The party is walking across the countryside and, everything's hunky-dory kind of music. They came to me once upon a time and said, hey, you keep saying you'll do credits if you can come up with like some royalty-free music. We'll go you one better. And we'll make you a track if you'll promote us for a little while. And I did promote them for a little while, but I'm going to continue to promote them. These guys love Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. All right. They cut a video with Alan Hammock called Gallop Dreidel, which is about the wizard in Ghost Tower of Inverness. Okay. These guys love classic D&D. It's not a spoof to them. It's not anything like that. And that they gave me a piece of music like that to use on my show means that I will forever promote them. Now, I can't say how quickly they would be able to get to you in response, but I think they have some physical copies. BG1, A Musical Adventure, which is an awesome album. Track 1 is Caraptus. Then we have The Keep, The Mad Hermit. I mean, just all classic D&D adventures and subjects made into song. I realize I'm sounding like I'm trying to sell you a copy of this. But guys, Bards of Greyhawk is amazing. And if you don't give them a listen, and they're on YouTube, just look up Bards of Greyhawk. They have videos. They've done a rock opera about Q1 and have a not unattractive young lady playing Loth too, I might add. Where can you download the entire track? Dave, I don't believe they've shared it out. I play it sometimes. I have in the past played all of Summer Mountains in its entirety. It again is a wonderful piece of music. Let me see. Is it there? It's not there. Downloads. You know what? Tomorrow night, before we start Dwellers of the Forbidden City, I will make sure that I play that. Unless, let me see. Let me see if I can. No, that's not going to do. Do that. Okay. All right. They are great musicians. They're really awesome. Saw a weird 1E video on YouTube called AD&D is Weird or something. A Zoomer British couple claims they found a copy of 1E in their attic and go through it. Is that's not Neckbeardia, is it? Is that Neckbeardia? Because I've been going through their library and they're a lot of fun. Yes, BGC, yes. Oh, good. I'm glad it's not Neckbeardia, because they seem to get it. I mean, at least a little bit. I mean, my thing with AD&D is this: if you take 5 minutes and give it its due, it's actually pretty awesome. Yeah, Neckbeardia is pretty great. They're based. Oh, sounds based. And they have a miniature store. I guess they commissioned a bunch of minis. I'd buy the STLs, guys. Neckbeardia, if you're listening, if you want to sell STLs, I would buy STLs of your stuff. Just saying. Bards of Greyhawk only has 324 subscribers. Gentlemen, this must not stand. If you're not subscribed to Bards of Greyhawk and you are subscribed to my channel, you must subscribe to Bards of Greyhawk. Go subscribe to Bards of Greyhawk right now. Just do it. Subscribe to Bards of Greyhawk. I'm afraid I must insist. But yeah, I will play Summer Mountains for you guys tomorrow night, because I have to adjust things in StreamYard or in OBS and in my voice meter software and everything. Good. Bob, go. Thank you, Michael. I know there's only a few of us, but if every one of you guys out there who isn't already subbed, if you can get like 10 people each to sub, guess what? They're going to wake up and find themselves with over 1,000 subs. I love those guys. Well, don't unsubscribe and then subscribe again. Woohoo! That's how you do it. Okay, look. Full confession time. I don't like Twitter. I don't like Twitter as a company. I don't like Twitter as an engagement system. But I ran a little bit of an experiment this weekend. I've actually got a little bit of a head of steam on Twitter. I mean, for these parts, okay? You know, I mean, I'm saying I got the fastest car in Oakland, Florida. Okay. But for me, it was interesting. Yes, Jimmy, it is. But I did get some promotion out there. So if you're coming from Twitter, understand me saying anything bad about Twitter is not me saying anything bad about you. Quite the contrary. Welcome. This is what we do. Night in and night out. Except usually I have a little more direction than this. Yeah, no. Trust me. But all I do there is post about D&D stuff. And D&D stuff gets like it just shows up in my timeline. The one thing that I follow, because you had to say, you got to follow something, was the National Weather Service. I follow the National Weather Service on Twitter, which if you live in Florida, witness this past week, is a good thing to do. But now I follow a few people, like Dungeon Ministers on Twitter, and I follow him because I know, like, I'm not going to be sitting there and he's going to be like, by the way, shitty political opinion, blah, and I'm like, although Twitter does its best to try and make me look at that sort of thing, but I just stick to D&D and I see some interesting D&D, and there's someone that Dungeon Minister follows, or they follow Dungeon Minister, and they were like, I need deadly spooky traps for a maze I'm designing, this young lady. I'm like, okay, I got one for you. The party encounters a silent but cheery figure in the dungeon who begins dropping gold coins and walking ahead of them and smiling and gesturing at them to follow. He eventually leads them down a corridor, around a corner, and behind them, that they don't know, a 10 by 10 by 10 stone slab slowly lowers, sealing them in. The figure then looks at them, smiles, vomits up a mass of bloody needles, and disappears, leaving them trapped forever. I don't think she was expecting that. I don't think she was expecting that. Really, they got rackets off Twits. That doesn't surprise me. And then I just like grabbed like every fantasy D&D image that I could easily find and just started dragging and dropping it into just post. I wasn't tagging anybody. I wasn't tagging anything. Although I did take a moment to yell at Wizards of the Coast about the fact that, Mike Carr said AD&D is an accepting, diverse place for people to come and enjoy games. And I said, stop trying to erase the past to force your awful agenda, Wizards, and tagged them and all that. And people seem to like it. You know what else needs to be banned? The inside draw. Fair enough. Now, I'm not going to give the Sean Connery from SNL Jeopardy answer to that, Dungeon Minister. So anyway, speaking of spooky and scary, once again, don't worry, Dave. This, like I said, I experimented this weekend. I conducted an experiment on Twitter. If you're kind of coming in late, and you don't know what's going on, Friday night at 9:30, we might even start a little early. I haven't decided yet. We might start at 8:30. It might just begin. We will begin an October live streamed game of Call of Cthulhu using classic BRP. It is set in the 1920s. There are no satellite images. There are no mobile phones. There are no critical care hospitals. There are no kind and understanding psychotherapists to help you. The world is as unexplored and as vast as it was in 1820 at this time. No one is coming to save you. So be there Friday for that. Vince wants me to start early. Luther says, if you're coming in late, you might think this is a madhouse. It is tonight. It is tonight. So that is what we will be doing starting Friday, and we will run to the end of October. Now, I do not intend to end the Call of Cthulhu game on a cliffhanger. If we hit the 4-hour mark on the last Friday in October and things are still not resolved, guess what? We keep playing, and hopefully you keep watching. This is a thing of beauty and a joy forever. Thank you, Dungeon Minister. Thank you. I again maintain, you guys that go, let me tell you something, boys and girls. Dungeon Minister, do you want like high fidelity classic D&D videos that you don't have to like slice a massive chunk of your life out of to watch? Go subscribe to the Dungeon Minister channel if you haven't already. This cat has 15, 20 minutes at most. I think your longest is like 30, 31 minutes videos where he's got sound effects, visual effects. He's got Saint Beckme, who should honestly be Saint Holmes, but then what do I know? I'm just a guy who's been playing D&D for 40 years. He's got all that cool stuff on his channel. And you should absolutely go and watch and subscribe, because he's taking his family on a wild D&D adventure, and it is DM's back me down. Oh, that video editing is tight. If you know Ryan George, you know that joke. So yes. Well, they're so good they don't feel like 45 minutes. Like there's videos by YouTubers that I legitimately enjoy. But lately, I'm not going to say a name because it's going to sound like I'm being negative about the guy. It's not D&D related at all, but it's one of my favorite channels. But lately, man, when I see his videos like clock in at 45 minutes, I'm like, I'm just not feeling it. I'll do like the preamble and I'll skip through. I'm like, yeah, it's you with an oscilloscope pointing at a computer monitor occasionally as garbled data flows by. And I can just skip through, and it's just that over until the very end, and you've got a working computer, a working vintage computer. Sometimes, not all the time. And I can't do it. Not all the time. Sometimes I can. But Dungeon Minister, yeah, I put one of his videos on and I'm just like, oh, goody. Better than an episode of Mannix. That's Mannix, not Manics. Yeah, that does not surprise me. The John Ringo book with Cthulhu references. Middle guy kicked the youngest in the face. Oh my gosh. That is a shame. Mike Dymart says Dungeon Minister has a great channel. Oh, well, thank you, Mike. That goes back to what I've said before about classic D&D YouTube, the family we have. In that a rising tide lifts all boats. If somebody says, like, yeah, I'm subscribed to Dungeon Minister, I'm not like, damn it, I wanted your subscription. I would say our cross-pollination is probably pretty high. Because he's got a great channel, I've got a great channel. And the same goes for everybody out there talking about classic D&D. And even though I live stream, you're not missing anything if you don't watch the live stream, for the most part. Okay, I now have 4 Green Devil face prints are spoken for. Do I like any of the Carl Sargent stuff? A question. After all these ages, a question. I want to answer that question very diplomatically, because I'm at a point in my life where I'm past the "you suck for trying to create D&D and Greyhawk," blah, 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 blah. For the most part. I still think the people who did the hatchet job with the Castle Greyhawk joke module should be ashamed. But anyway, Carl Sargent. I appreciate what he was trying to do given the task he was given. So let me, if you don't know what Dave L is asking about, if you don't know what Dave L is talking about, TSR let Greyhawk go fallow after Gary left. They promoted Dragonlance and Mystara and Forgotten Realms very heavily. The only thing they were doing with Dragonlance was they continued a series of increasingly bad modules, gargoyles, puppets, and a series of increasingly bad Greyhawk novels. Like if you read Saga of Old City and Gord the Rogue, the TSR books, and then, oh, there's number 3, and it's written by Rose Estes. I guess this will be good. No. Bad. No. So my Labrador's probably lying in the kitchen going, what do I do? Anyway, good night, Luther. But here's the thing, and this is straight from the employee at TSR who was responsible for monitoring these things. There is a narrative that has been crafted over the years by people who don't like Gary Gygax's work and think anything was better than Greyhawk. That, well, Dragonlance and Forgotten Realms blew Greyhawk out of the water. Nobody wanted Greyhawk. Greyhawk was consistently neck and neck with Forgotten Realms all through 2nd edition. And even as much as she hated Gary Gygax, Lorraine Williams could not, in the case of Greyhawk, leave lying on the ground. So after many years of Greyhawk being fallow, TSR said, we gotta pump some money into this. So Carl Sargent came along and he advanced the Greyhawk timeline that is established in the classic 17 modules. He brought Greyhawk, he killed off NPCs, named NPCs. He created new ones, new political divisions, the whole Greyhawk Wars. And there was a lot of other stuff. The Return to series. I mean, TSR, who hated Greyhawk, took Keep on the Borderlands away from Mystara and put it in Greyhawk with Return to the Keep on the Borderlands. It's as if a million Beckme fanboys cried out in terror and were suddenly silenced when TSR did that. I appreciate that Carl Sargent took the job of keeping Greyhawk and elevating Greyhawk back into the spotlight and did so with stuff like Die Vecna Die, From the Ashes, the Greyhawk Wars, and other authors coming in with the Return to modules. So I feel like in that respect, I do respect him. I do respect what he did. You know, if he had said, I'm not feeling it, guys, TSR might have turned it over to somebody far worse with far worse ideas. Do I appreciate his choices, his creative choices? Do I think they were the best creative choices? No, I do not. But I appreciate what he was trying to do. So that is my answer. That is my answer, and I hope it is a good one, Dave L. I had a couple of Dangerous Journey products for a little while, but I never played it. I have owned not one, but 2 complete mint sets of Cyborg Commando. It was a bad game. It was not a good game. I have heard that Frank Mentzer mostly wrote Cyborg Commando, and Gary lent his name to keep Gary's name out of the forefront and to help it sell. But, oh boy, I don't know what the whole story is, but Cyborg Commando is not a good game. Probably my favorite non-D&D Gary Gygax role-playing game, because I did get to play it with him, would be Legendary Adventures. But I also never played Dangerous Journeys. So, which is a very funny story. What happened was Gary went to work for GDW, who at the time published Twilight 2000, Traveler, Space 1889, quite a few other role-playing games. They were pretty well regarded. They were a dark horse, but positive company. They hired Gary immediately after he left TSR, and Gary went to work on Dangerous Journeys. TSR sued and said, if you put your name on a role-playing game, it is infringing on and will damage the brand of Dungeons and Dragons if you put your name on a fantasy role-playing game. And they tried to sue Gary to make him stop, to make him not do it. They lost, but Gary went to Lorraine Williams and said, hey, we here at GDW, we will sell you this game with my name on it. It won't damage anything. You can publish it and make the money. And TSR said, no, we're going to sue you anyway. And they did, and they lost. And TSR lost money. Unfortunately, that was part of a 1-2 punch that damaged GDW critically. The other was that this happened in the summer fall of 1990. This happened when Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait. GDW published several realistic World War III and modern style war games and role-playing games. They printed a ton, I mean pallet loads, of a war game. I think it was called either Persian Gulf Inferno or War in the Gulf. And hobby stores gobbled it up. By the time it was written, beta tested, troubleshot, edited, pre-pressed, printed, and sent out, the war that the game speculated would take years potentially to fight, months at the very least, was over. And GDW started getting pallet loads back because comic book and game stores did not want pallet loads of an unsellable board game. And that was the critical damage that holed the hull of GDW, and they sank. And that was the end of it. Some people squarely blame it on Gary. Some people are like, man, Gary Gygax should have never come over to GDW. It cost us everything, cost us Twilight 2000, yada, yada, yada. The Lady of Pain from Plains, I don't know, and I haven't heard that. Given what I've read, the lore about the character, it would fit. Because she'll smite you if you speak to her. Like anyone who worships her or her works, she has utter disdain for, and she will destroy in the most horrible fashion anyone who does that. That's my understanding. Yes, it was a hex encounter game at a time when that kind of game was already on its way out anyway. I mean, you know, they peaked with stuff like Air Superiority. But anyway. So that's our plan of attack for the week, guys. We are going to play first edition AD&D tomorrow night after we start our deep dive of Dwellers in the Forbidden City. Classic D&D module, guys. You don't want to miss that one. We're going to look at art. We're going to look at it. Now, I don't have any super cool history about L1, so we're going to go in just as a retail product. There won't be a lot of preamble. So we're going to start that tomorrow. Then we're going to play classic AD&D. Our Wednesday night, we will rejoin Traveler, which Kyle will be running. Thursday, we will continue the deep dive of Dwellers in the Forbidden City. Friday, the true face of horror will be shown to you, because we will start our 4-week exclusive live play of Call of Cthulhu. So you guys have a wonderful evening. I'm going to grab a cold beer, and then I'm going to settle in to play some first edition AD&D. Cyborg Commit, never. I'll do a Realm of Yolmi deep dive before I do Cyborg Commando. So you guys have an absolutely wonderful tonight, and I will see you tomorrow. But before I go, I almost forgot this. Those of you who've been watching the crab, they're the very real crab that everybody can see, unlike this fictional horse pointing down there. There are some folks who contribute to the ongoing situation where I have lights and cameras and microphone booms and everything. And I just want to take a minute to thank them. They support us on Patreon, on Subscribestar. Some folks choose to directly support through PayPal donations. And I just set this up. You can try it out if you want to tip me. buymeacoffee.com/bsylvie. And for those who do, I say especially thank you to Joshua Garlock, Lord Corion, Ricky Maru, Mobius, Kevin Reynolds, Doomsword Deathmaster, Mark Simpson, Damien247, James F. Keck, William Smith, The Dungeon Minister, Manny Wall, Mark Corey, Kevin Wood. I've known Kevin since 1989. Todd Sharp, Carnivore Farmer Rob, Jeremy Rule, Bo Ganora, Mikey Mank, the Sky Hernstrom, the Pete Sullivan, DM's Council, and Baron Von Headbanger. So thank you, everyone who's done that, who continues to do that, who continues to support the show. I love you all, guys. I really do. You're great. You're awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Give yourselves a high five, because you're all fantastic. And if you're just stopping by, hasta la vista, but do click the subscribe button. Do click the bell icon. Give the video a thumbs up, and I'll see you all tomorrow night. Peace.